Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're down to our final touches. One thing that we can do is a little bit of tweaking. There's always things to tweak. And I would first of all, read through everything that you've done and just make sure that there aren't spelling mistakes or other grammar issues or anything that's obviously not what you want. And if you do want to change something, there's these edit buttons that look like pencils beside each tree title. So you can click on that pencil and you can go and you can change whatever you want to change and save and or cancel. And when you're happy with all of your content, scroll right up to the introduction, or you can click on the home button here, and we can nitpick our introduction a little bit. Now, first of all, we've got our overview of all of the trees that we can see. And when we've got our browser open nice and big like we do on these monitors, it looks fantastic. But somebody may be on a computer with a smaller monitor, or they just have their browser not as large. You can see that the story map keeps the map in the same location on the left-hand side, and we crop off on the right-hand side. So we may want to move the map so that our left side trees are fairly close to the left edge there. That way there's a better chance that people are going to see all of our trees at once without having to drag the map around. So we can click on the edit button for our introduction. And if we click on main stage, we can click on the custom configuration for the location. And that's going to let us move our map over, and so maybe even something like that. And we can save that now. The other thing you may decide to turn off is the legend. To be honest, we've got everything labeled on the map, and I'll show you what the legend looks like, because maybe you haven't opened up the legend. It just lists all the trees with their colors. They're already labeled on the map, so to be honest with you, our legend is redundant. So we can go back to the main stage here and we can turn off the legend if you want, or you can keep it, up to you. If you want to change the base map, we can do that as well. We have to do a little bit of futzing for that, but let's say you picked imagery, but you want imagery with labels because you want to have the school labeled like here. No problem. For the map, click on Edit here, and that's going to open up our original. And if you had forgotten to rename this to Tree Tour, you can do that. Although if you hide the legend, it doesn't really matter. But we can click on base map here, and you can try a different base map. Maybe you want to do just the topographic one if you want the trees to really stand out. It's totally up to you which one you pick. But whatever you do pick, make sure you click on Save, and then click on Close, and then click on Save here. And of course you'll want to save the whole project. Now I'm going to make this nice and big again. And there's another thing up here, settings, that we can also play with. So let's try settings. And remember I talked about you could change side panel or floating panel. So you can click on floating panel and click apply and see what you think. In this case, it changes things quite a bit, and we have a kind of transparent window that our text and photos are on top of. So I don't know, I don't really care for this particular one, but again, if you want to do that, no problem. I'm going to go back to side panel. There are some other things that you can change here. So whether you want the panel on the left or on the right, whether you want to give your map more space, or sorry, your sidebar more space and your map less space, you can try some different settings there. There's also a theme, which is the colors of the title bar and some stuff, so you can try a different one and see what you think about that. Or it's the color of this bar, color of the background. So try themes. You can also change fonts, so the title and the content can be different kinds of fonts. There's a number of choices you can have there. You know, perhaps you want a serif for your title. And then there is the header. That's this part right here where we have the ESRI logo. And what we can do is actually choose no logo or a custom logo. And I like this because we can actually put in a Tusk logo, if you like. So I'm going to open up a new tab here. And if you do a search for, you have to type a little bit, Toronto Urban Studies Center logo. Hey, look at that, that popped up. And we go to images. Look at that. The first thing is what we're looking for. I would click on this here, and I would even right click on the image in here and choose Open Image in New Tab. And that way we can get the exact URL for this image. And I'm going to copy that with Command C, or you can right click and choose copy. And if we go back to here, we can click in and paste that URL. Now for this link, why don't we link to this actual program on our website? So if we go back here and click on all, we can go to our home page. And if we open up our grade 7 and Geotech in Action, here is the link for this program. So I'm going to copy that, come on back, and paste in there. The other thing we can customize is this story map text, which we see, I think it's being hidden under here. We can't see it. And instead of a story map, why don't we put in what you were kind of doing? We were all looking for different kinds of trees. So why don't we type in looking for, and depending on your role, you can type in something different. So if you're a tree lover, you might type in something like trees that please. If you're an arborist, you might type in trees that need help. If you're a tree steward, you might type in examples of do's and don'ts. And forestry students could type in trees good to plant in Toronto. It's up to you. And then this link goes to story maps. Let's just get rid of that. And make sure to click apply after you've done any of this stuff. And there we go. So you can see we've changed our font. We've put in our sort of byline up there, and we've got our nice logo. So feel free to fiddle with the settings. And when you're happy, click on Save. Congratulations. I think you're done. Raise your hand and let us check out what you've got so far. And if there's time, there is a geography game that you and your partner can play in the browser. It's a lot of fun.